I used to live in a constant state of guilt. When my head hit the pillow at night, I would think, did I ever look my son in the eyes today? Yes, we did talk. We played. I helped him. But did I look at his face? I tried to remember our conversations, but it was vague. I was with him, but I wasn't present. Have you ever felt that way, being there physically, but not mentally? My mind was always somewhere else, thinking about what needs to get done, sometimes replaying previous conversations or thinking about the next thing I need to do to keep my son busy, while being in the moment of playing with him. If you've ever felt like you're physically there but emotionally checked out, I want to share what helped me change that, because becoming a present mom when you have mental distractions and noise don't come naturally. It took intentional steps, choices, self-discipline, and honestly, a lot of prayer. In this video, I want to take you into that journey. If you're new here, my name is Julie, and I help wives who are feeling burnout in their marriages, motherhood, or homemaking. If you love videos that will encourage you in any of these, I would love if you could press that like and subscribe button to join this community. My husband and I were laying in bed one night, and he was staring at the wall. I asked him, "What are you thinking about?" And he said nothing. I honestly thought he was lying. How is it possible to think of nothing? Until I actually learned the truth. Yes, men has the ability to think of nothing. This idea was popularized by marriage speaker Mark Gungor, who describes men's brains like series of boxes. One for work, one for sports, one for family, etc., and one empty box. When men are stressed or tired, they may retreat to this nothing box, where they genuinely think about nothing important. Men are capable of compartmentalizing in this way due to how their brains are wired, especially the corpus callosum, which is smaller in men. This means there's less communication between the left and right hemispheres, so they can shut down certain thought processes more easily. Women's brains, by contrast, have a larger corpus callosum, meaning the two hemispheres are in constant communication. This allows women to multitask and emotionally process more deeply, but it also makes it very difficult to be in a state of nothing. So we can't really think about nothing, but we can learn to quiet our minds in moments. Like I said, it takes self-discipline. Honestly, my guilt brought me to a place of really wanting and learning to quiet my mind and be present. I didn't want to just survive my days anymore. I didn't want to just get through my time with my kid while mentally organizing grocery lists and folding tomorrow's laundry in my head. I wanted to be present, and that desire, guided by prayer and shaped by discipline, changed everything. If you share the same desire as me, I would love to invite you to my free webinar that I linked in the description down below. I give you 5 practical tools to help you get out of the survival mode and to throw off burdens that you have unknowingly placed upon yourself. Because as homemaker mothers and wives, we carry a lot. We don't just live one life, we manage the lives of others. And because we're often good at multitasking, we try to do everything at once, even play with our kids. I used to do that. I would sit on the floor with my son and build blocks, but in my mind, I was planning dinner. I'd read a story to him, but I'd be mentally writing emails that I knew I needed to send. I was there, but I wasn't with him. And honestly, that's not how I wanted to live. One of the first practical steps I took was returning to an old-fashioned method, writing things down. If something popped into my head, I wrote it down immediately. It sounds simple, but it made a huge difference. Once I wrote it down, my brain didn't have to keep juggling it. I could tell myself, you won't forget, it's written, let it go. That simple practice helped me to unload some of the weight I was carrying in my mind, so I could be more available for the moment I was in. Another shift I had to make was being brutally honest with myself about priorities. Yes, I knew my son came before homemaking. I believed it, but I wasn't really living like that. I'm naturally task-orientated. I'm very disciplined in getting my work done first and then play after. But for me, it did not work well when being a mother and having a kid that only wants to play and only wants my time. So I had to flip that mindset. I had to discipline myself to say, first, I will fill his cup, meaning play with him, then I'll do my tasks. So I started using timers, and this was a game changer for me and my son both. Before starting a play session with my son, I'd set a timer. During that timer, I gave him my full attention. I didn't check the time constantly or glance at my phone that I used to do. I knew the timer would let me know when it was time to move on. And my son adapted so well to it. In the past, when I'd suddenly stop playing to go wash dishes, he'd get so upset. But with the timer, there was structure and predictability. When the timer went off, he would just understand it and be okay with me needing to go to do something. When it went off, I'd explain that it was time for mommy to do tasks, and after that, we'd play again. So I go from playtime, homemaking all day long. This rhythm created peace in my home and in my mind. I knew I was pouring into him and also getting things done. And I would always start the day with a play session first. And just as importantly, setting a timer, it kept me off my phone. I didn't need to check the time, which meant I didn't fall into the trap of just quickly checking another app. Of course, time management was only part of the battle. The real work happened in my heart and mind because even with timer, lists, and routines, distractions still crept in. I knew I needed God to help me quiet my soul. So I started praying very specifically. Lord, help me be still, quiet my mind so I can be present. And I started taking my thoughts captive. Whenever I drift into planning mode or stress while playing with my son, I'd replace it with a gratitude prayer. Thank you, Lord, for this moment. Thank you that you have blessed me with a son that I can be a mother. That gratitude grounded me, and over time it became a habit. Eventually, I would start praying before we played, thanking God in advance, inviting Him into the moment to help me still my mind. That is where the real transformation happened. Moments of a silent, quick prayer helped me to quiet my mind, to be grateful and present in the moment. I also made a point to look my son in the eyes. Now, it might sound silly, but there were so many times he'd walked into the kitchen to tell me something, and although I would respond and have a conversation, I never actually looked up from what I was doing. I was multitasking and with this, only giving him half of me. So I started disciplining myself to pause, lift my eyes and look at his face, to make eye contact and give him my focused attention. And of course, it doesn't always happen because if I had to do this each time, I probably won't get much done, but I make a point to do it a couple of times. Now, let's be honest. Toddlers don't always play in ways that stimulates us. They'll repeat the same game or story 20 times and your brain wants to run away just to survive the boredom. So I found ways to gently redirect play in ways that worked for both of us. I started introducing activities I enjoy too. For example, I'd buy puzzles that he definitely can't build, but I can. And with this, I would invite him to help me build a puzzle. This shows him that he is not always the only one asking for help or asking me to play with him, but that I do ask him to play with me, and he'll always do the best at finding the pieces. Now that he's older, we started building Lego together. It's okay to guide your child into things that brings you joy too. When you're engaged, they sense it, and it becomes something meaningful to them. Learning to be a present mom didn't happen overnight. It took discipline to lay down distractions and even more discipline to surrender my thought life to God. But I can say this. The more I slowed down, the more I saw. The more I prayed, the more peace I felt. The more present I became, the more alive my motherhood felt. And no, I am not perfect. I still get distracted. I still have days where I feel scattered. But I've learned how to come back. I've learned how to choose presence again and again. If you're feeling like you're missing the moments even while you're in them, I promise you, you are not alone. But you don't have to stay there. If you need some extra help, then again, I would love to invite you to my free webinar where I give you 5 tools to help you slow down and enjoy life a bit more. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found some value in this video. If you haven't, please press that like and subscribe button to get more marriage and motherhood encouragement. I hope you have a blessed day.